Shalom. I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom, Labakarium, Shah, Yasharala, to the hopeful election out there. Preparing yourselves. Looking forward to the second coming of our Lord. Now, what I have queued up right here, this is a guy, his YouTube handle is Full Spectrum Survival. I watch him from time to time. He keeps his eyes on the prize as far as the carnality part of this this world falling apart. And this guy, him and his woman, they have a plot of land out there in Florida. And of course, Esau, being a carnal guy that he is, he feels that his own might will deliver him in his day. So he will bring the news to you, but he's deceived by his own vain opinion, by feeling, guns, weapon, stockpiling, food, things of that nature will prolong his days. And it may even prolong his days, but eventually it's going to hit the wall. So we don't look, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but it's spiritual. This man doesn't know that, but nevertheless, he still keeps his eyes on the prize and has a lot of insight of where this thing is going. So the mind frame that we in is we praising Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai as we see the pains of this world. These people, like this guy here, they're very scared, extremely scared. They don't know what's going on. They don't know that there's a new world emerging while this world is crumbling. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. So I was checking them out, as we see this new, which is not new. They're just running the same play again with this variant coming out of South Africa. They want all hell. They want all chaos, whatever they up to. We know it's about to be brutal. And may Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah bring upon that Jacob's trouble and hasten in that charagma so we can, the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ratazah, Yahweh Ratazah, Yahweh Ratazah. I'm part of that number. Get the hell up out of here, man. Get the hell up out of here, man. Sick of this damn place. But check this out.
The World Health Organization, the CDC, and governments around the planet are warning that the entire globe is in for trouble. I'm going to be bringing you some potentially bad news over the course of the next couple of days and maybe even the next couple of weeks. And remember what they say. Don't be mad at the messenger. I'm just telling you what I see happening and trying to give you a heads up so that you can get ahead in the right direction. The World Health Organization today announced that the new variant of COVID-19 is what they call a very high risk, a very concerning risk for a new change to take place across our planet. China has recently said that if they were to let up on their control measures even a little bit, there would be a national catastrophe. We are not going to see things go back to our 2018 normal anytime soon. In fact, by the time that this financial and biological event is over, we are not even going to know what the landscape looks like. We're going to do our best to stay ahead, maybe even from the shadows. We're going to do our best to make sure that our family members have the ability to have food on the table, have power in their house, have their medicine with them, and stay safe from violent unrest. We have never in our lifetimes experienced such a time of turmoil, a time when just going to the grocery store was one fraught with danger. We have never experienced a time in our lives where your financial uncertainty was so heavy that you didn't know whether you were going to have your job or not in a couple of weeks or a couple of months due to extra mandatory measures. You didn't know whether you were going to be able to be in the same position financially as you are today. In fact, we're seeing right now a change take place across that entire landscape that really bodes unwell for the future. We are seeing warnings right now that as soon as the Fed, as soon as governments around our world, financial and banking institutions are forced to make changes, that is when the shutdowns come. That is when the next leg of this financial crisis begins to hit home. You see the Federal Reserve, the ECB, everybody right now, they don't want to make any changes because the fat cats are getting fatter and they like it. The fact that you're up there paying 25% more in inflation is great for corporations. It's amazing. How could they ever have let you not pay this much before? The fat cats are getting fatter every day. And that's really, at the end of the day, what matters. As long as you, as a servant, as a taxpayer, are willing to pay more, why would they not want you to pay more? So they're going to continue to reach the breaking point. We're close to it right now, and some mathematicians are warning that as soon as we reach a 30-35% realized inflation. Now they're going to say that the inflation level is what, 6%? Boo-hoo. It's great because it makes it sound like in your head, well, there's no big deal. 6%? Okay, I could pay another 6%. But that's not what happens in reality. You see, as certain percentage rates begin to creep up, you start to see doubling and tripling in what you actually pay. What will happen is a farm grower, let's just say, to give an instance, a farm grower has to pay 10% more in fertilizer, and he's paying 3% more in gasoline or diesel, and he's paying higher insurance costs, and he's having to pay workers a little bit more. By the time that vegetable reaches the grocery store or then gets processed by a fat cat like Mondelez, Kraft, any one of those, Campbell's, whoever it might be, and then it gets to the grocery store and the fat cat of Walmart takes their percent increase because they say, look, we have to pay more for the products, we're going to charge you more. You are actually looking at a 25% realized inflation. There's a breaking point that's invisible to the majority. It's invisible to almost everybody. All we can do is sort of feel that it's there. And when we reach that invisible breaking point and everybody, society as a whole, takes that next step and you feel like you're stepping over the cliff and you see that the crowd behind you is pushing you closer and closer to the edge, what happens? Panic. And you start to push back. And it doesn't matter, it's your life, not anyone else's. And you push back against everybody else and you're shoving them out of the way. And you're trying to get to the back of the crowd, not standing at the edge of the cliff. That's this financial and biological situation that we're in. You're going to have a lot of people in all communities mad about what's going on. You're going to see them increase in their own propensity for violence, their own calls to violent actions. You're going to see things happen and be called for that are egregious at best.
You see that right there? That's the part I was looking for. Hey, man, all hell's about to break loose, man. Second Ezra 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe is signifies destruction, distress, anguish, pain. 15 verse. For the sword and their destruction draweth near, man. It's coming. It's right around the damn corner. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. And a modern day sword is those weapons, those guns. And it's going to be literally poles, knives, bats, whatever people can get their hands on, whatever they can ransom off. This thing is about to get serious, man. Brothers are having visions, dreams. This thing is speeding up. For there shall be sedition, which is an uprising among men, and invading one another. Invading your spaces, someone there that doesn't belong there. You know, like a burglar, like a car thief, like a carjacker. Invading one another, rape, all forms of robbery. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, which is the government. The martial law that they call, that's not going to stop the people. I was looking at a game they had, a football game they had in Russia. The fans felt they were unfair with some of the plays. They they started burning down the stadium. So people are not going to regard the government. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because of the blocks, because of the sanctions, the draconian laws. You can go here, you can't go there. Where's your passport? Prove to me you live here. Prove to me you there. So you're going to desire to move around. You're not going to be able to because of the various things that's going on. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man, when it comes to that food. When it comes to that food and that water, no pity upon your neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. For great tribulation, man. And all this is, hey, the God just told you right here, man. More violence. More violence. Let's listen to some more.
We are going to see events take place and increasing crime and all of these things that we have sort of been seeing through maybe thick glasses, maybe distorted views. We have seen these events take place over the course of the last year. We are now going to see them really shock and awe the world. And as this continues to unfold, the news is not going to get any better. What we're going to be faced with is not going to get any better. Like I've said in previous videos, I trust certain virologists and I trust certain biological outlets because they have no agenda that they're trying to push down my throat. And the things that they are saying are not good. Even if you don't have a concern over the biological event itself, the reaction, watch what they do and not what they say. Watch the reaction of the governments. Watch the reactions of the institutions. And what you see them doing, that's what's going to cause real change for you and your family. They're already saying, yes, we're okay with lockdowns if we have to again. They're already saying, China's already saying, yes, we're going to close down the ports if we have to. You are going to see a complete rerun of 2020. A rerun, all of the worst parts of that. And so if we already have this sort of path of least resistance in our mind and in our society to go to violence, that path of least resistance will drive the angered toward points of action. Think of the riots and the protests of 2020. Think of all the things that took place that negatively affected your family. And those are the paths of least resistance now because we've been there, we've done that. And as humans, we will do it again. They say that history is destined to repeat itself, and that's what, unfortunately, it looks like we are facing right now. With this repetition of all of the bad things of our world's past, it's only a matter of time until we go to war, until we go to a world war. And it's nice. It would be nice to think that that will never happen again in our lives.
Hey, okay, that's enough on that. Hey, you know, Esau's the carnal beast, man. So they're paranoid about it, but we walk by faith, not by sight, man. We understand the prophecies. We understand what's going on. This is a beautiful thing. And y'all Ratazah, man. Let this go down. So the hopeful elect, man, we get on up out of here, man. We get on up out of here. Y'all Ratazah. Let me see. This is 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, so we are in this flesh, you know, just like that carnal guy. We do not war after the flesh. We're not picking up these weapons and gathering stockpiling food and water everywhere. You grab a few things. You'd be a fool not to. Grab a few things. But you don't know where you're going to be at, where you're going to be at when this thing really pop off, when all hell breaks loose. So, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, So we're not looking for these carnal weapons, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, man. Our Father gonna pull down these strongholds, man. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted himself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach, man. So that's what we waiting for. That's the time that we in. That's the time that we in, man. You know, we're not in any other times. The time of faith is when the faithful stand up. It's when the carnal run for the guns, but this is when the faithful do this here. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight, man. We walk by faith, not by sight. So we don't get carnal. We get excited because we know the other slice of this pie here. They just got one side they holding on to, and it's crumbling before their face. And hey, man, it's got to be scary as hell to them not to know what's going on. So I'd like to give all praise and honor to my Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Rakakdash, the Holy Spirit, for giving me the eyesight to see this right now at this time, man. For Akim, don't lose the faith. It's the wrong time to lose the faith. We about to get it on, man. Shalom.